Welcome back, YouTubers, sports fans across the nation. This your boy Turtle, and this my show. So you think you know sports? And I just got a question for y'all. Is Mike Vick Hall of Fame worthy? Well, Mike Vick recently retired as a Falcon, and I want to give props to the Falcons organization and Mike Vick as well for putting this together and finally getting this done. You know, Vick is a Falcon. He always gonna be a Falcon. That's where he made his name. He played great with the Eagles, but at the end of the day, Vick was a Falcon, and that's pretty much what we're gonna remember whenever we think of Vick. You know, the guy running around the field. Vick was one of the only quarterbacks to throw for 2,000 plus yards and run for 1,000 yards in a season. One of the only guys to do that. I'm not sure. I think Cam Newton has done that recently. But I mean, look at what they did to T.O. You know, T.O.'s not in the Hall of Fame, and we'll make a video for that another time. But T.O. definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. I think he should have been a first ballot Hall of Fame, but his off-field antics kept him from getting into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. And this year you got guys like LaDainian Tomlinson going in. That was probably the only guarantee that was on there. Morton Anderson is also a good one. Jerry Jones is going in the Hall of Fame. So, you know, the Cowboys are going to go crazy for that. Who else? Jason Taylor is going in the Hall of Fame. So a couple other guys as well. I'm going to have to check it out. I'll do another video on that. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, man, is Mike Vick Hall of Fame worthy? Mike Vick was a polarizing player. He for a while there, he kind of held the NFL on his back. You know, he brought the casual fan, the guys that didn't really watch football but cared enough to see what Vick was doing, so they tuned in, and because of that, it helped the league grow. And Mike Vick was definitely a part of this generation's NFL. You know, I mean, the guy was a Madden player in real life, you know, blazing speed at the quarterback position, you know, with just enough good arm in order to throw the ball where it needs to go. Yes, he had an up and down years, and, you know, it was not always good for him. But, I mean, let's be honest. When we think of Vick, we really think of Vick blazing by defenders, and nothing they could do about it. You know, he was just way faster than them. Vick was a great player, man. If it not been for the dogfighting, you know, he was found guilty of dogfighting. I'm sure you've heard it before. You know, if you didn't, you're hearing it now. But yeah, Vick was found guilty of dogfighting, and that led to him being suspended from the league and also serving some time in jail. It led to him leaving the league suspended from the league for like, what, 2 years. And he came back, you know, and by the graces of God, he was afforded another chance. You know, with the Eagles, they took a chance on him. Andy Reid took a chance on him, and it was a good chance because he did make him look good. I mean, he played a good game. Vick was he still was blazing by guys. I mean, you pull up some Vick highlights, and I'm sure you'll be laughing about how he run right by guys. I mean, he was just so fast, man. You know, as a quarterback, you know, you don't see that sometimes. But is Vick a Hall of Fame quarterback? Man, that's tough, man. You know, they got guys in the Hall of Fame that probably hadn't contributed as much as Vick to the game, but their stats got them in there, you know, and their numbers, so to speak, got them in there. And I think the NFL would be hurting itself if it doesn't put a guy like Michael Vick into the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's my opinion. You know, I'd love to hear your opinion, but to me, I think the NFL would be tarnishing their record to not put Michael Vick in the Hall of Fame. because he was such a polarizing player. He was one of the best running quarterbacks ever. I think he had over 22,000 rushing, over 22,000 passing yards, and over 6,000 rushing yards. You know, as a quarterback, that's pretty big, man. You know, I know he's not the gunslinger, the pocket passer, you know, the quintessential quarterback that everybody wants to build, you know, the typical mold of a quarterback. But I mean, I think he kicked the door down for guys like Cam Newton, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, and even Tim Tebow. You know, it's not just black quarterbacks. All, you know, running quarterbacks alike. You know, he broke the door open for running quarterbacks. He gave them a shot to say, okay, I can pass the ball, but I might not pass it as good. But what I can't do as good as the great passers like a Brady and a Breeze, as you know. But he's saying, I got the wheels, and I'll blaze by them. I can pass it. I can pass it good enough. And Vick was a left-handed quarterback. You know, people don't give him credit for that. You know, Vick was a left-handed quarterback. You know, he opened that door for guys like Vince Young and all of those guys to come in the league and to actually have a chance to showcase their ability to play quarterback and have an athletic ability to escape the pocket if need be, and not just throw it away, because sometimes that's what the quarterbacks that's a pocket passer do. You know, they'll settle for the throwaway, as opposed to a guy like Cam Newton. You know, he's going to go try to get that extra couple yards. You know, he might take a lick and end up hurting himself ultimately, as we know Vick did over the course of his career. But, you know, they take more of a risk because they're like, you know, I'm not going to throw the ball away because I got these wheels. You know, I might as well try to get 2, 3, 4 yards instead of just throwing it out of bounds. And I totally understand that. You know, as a quarterback, you know, you want to have whatever dynamic you can in order to make your team better and to make you stand out and make you better. So, you know, like I said, I don't know, man. Is Vick a Hall of Fame quarterback? That's my question. I don't know. So you think you know sports?